The pleasure of welcoming Dr. Meeta Dhaval Vashi, surveillance officer at the WHO country office in India. Now, she's involved in monitoring routine immunization and capacity building of government counterparts in Mumbai. Dr. Vashi, a warm welcome to you. You should be able to unmute. Now,
thank you.
You visited a construction site in the lower Parel area of Mumbai in 2014. So this was a while ago. It's pre-COVID, but we're very interested in hearing your story. What happened that stood out that 7 years later, you remembered it in the context of the WHO Scholar Immunization Agenda 2030 course, and that you shared as a story focused on gender barriers. Please tell us.
Thank you very much. Actually, there are a lot of gender-related episodes that we see during our field work in immunization. But this one I remember because it touched my heart. When I went to monitor a construction site, which was a fully functional construction site in a city of Mumbai, and it had a lot of, hutments at the basement where all the laborers stay. So when I went to monitor there, there was a house in which one 4-year-old girl was there. She was washing clothes, and with her there was her little brother, 2.5 years old, and he was just sitting there. And when I inquired outside, the neighborhood lady came and she said that I am looking after them because both the parents are manual laborers and they are on the 9th and the 12th floor of the building. They're working now. So I insisted on seeing the routine immunization card and the boy's card, that is the 2 years plus child's card was there, and he was fully vaccinated for his age. But the daughter was 4-year-old, her card was not there. So I then called the mother and the father, and mother said, we have given only one injection to my daughter. Though the session was conducted few days before in the same construction site, but she did not vaccinate the daughter because her reason was, if I vaccinate my daughter, who will take care of my little son, who will do the household chores, and then I'll have to take leave and I'll lose my daily wages. So priority was not given to vaccination, and she was ignored. The elder daughter was ignored. Then I convinced her. I spoke to her about all the vaccine preventable diseases that we see, about starting from polio, smallpox, and then diphtheria, pertussis, everything, and how deadly they are and why they should vaccinate. And by vaccinating now, they will have a healthy kids, and they may not need hospitalization. So you are preventing disease. Everything I explained to her, and then the father, she got convinced that I will vaccinate my daughter. But even at and she gave this the second dose. A month later when there was a camp in the session site. But still I was doubtful because they are the migrants. They are here in a construction site for a few months, and then they go to another city or probably other construction site. So even at the end of my day, I was a little worried. Though on my insistence, she took it. But will she continue, or will she complete the schedule for the kid? Was my worry. So that's it. That is what I shared in the assignment.
Thank you, Dr. Meeta. And so your takeaway, you said, being a woman, you could convince the mother properly, giving several examples, explaining different diseases, starting what she already knew. And the husband, too, was convinced to immunize their daughter. But you felt bad, you said, because even if they immunize once because you're insisting, would they continue to do the same in the future when they go to a different city or site or another construction site? Jean Munro, you work on gender at Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Could you tell us how does a story? How do you reflect on a story like that? And again, if you were there in 2014 on the construction site, side by side with your colleague, what would you share? How would you follow up? What would you suggest? What would you advise?
Well, Dr. Meeta, I really enjoyed your story, and it just showed me how multidimensional your role is. You're really not just about the medicine, about the health, about the vaccine. It's the social aspect in your role that is actually so key. And I think sometimes we forget that really, we just see you as somebody coming with a needle, but really it's the interaction, the discussions that you have. And I really enjoyed your reflection on, well, what's going to happen next time. And I think it's those reflections that are so useful for programming, because it's your thoughts are about how we can change the way we do immunization program, or from a Gavi perspective, how we can support you to make sustainable changes. My one question about that case was, the mother was concerned that she would lose out on her wages because she would have to stay home and watch both children if they had a fever the next day. So what's an approach to overcome that aspect? Are there any things that you've seen in your practice where, that day after, where the children might come up with a fever and might need more extra care? How can we address that when we know both mother and father need to go back to the workforce?
No, it's very, very difficult actually. When we go to sites and we meet them, the supervisors also, we tell them that at least for a day after vaccination, if mother can be given us some lesser work or something. But ma'am, it's very, very difficult, because the mother says that they will pay us less if we do less work. So it is a little complicated to have any kind of, the only thing is we can just inform them the importance of vaccination and how it is going to